Hey guys, it's Adrian from Adrian's Adventure, and today I'm going to talk about why did I decide to come here in Turkey, or why am I here in Turkey. To start off, I want to talk about a little preview on how I came here. So back in 2014, I was working as a research officer in a college. So during the time, I was working 8 hours, and most of the time, I wasn't doing anything. So I was basically just sitting down, waiting for the time to finish. And it got to a point where I got bored. So what I did was that I searched online for various scholarship for master's degree. And then I stumbled upon this Turkish scholarship, or Türkiye bursları. And then I applied. And the funny thing about that application is that I actually didn't finish it. And then after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, a notification came telling me that today is the last day, so you should finish your application. And then I opened my application and I saw that I need to still write my thesis proposal and motivation letter. I didn't even remember what I wrote there. So I wasn't even positive during that time, because I thought that I didn't write that well. I don't even remember what did I write and the like things. And then after 2 months or a month and a half, they sent an invitation for an interview. So I was really surprised, because I didn't even thought about it that I would be interviewed. So actually I went to the interview. It went well. The interview went well. They asked me about topics in international relation, or theories in international relations and the like things. And then after a month, they sent a notification which states that I was accepted. So I got accepted as a scholar for masters. It was actually at Eskişehir Osman Gazi, master's degree for international relations. And then that's how I decided to come here in Turkey. So when I arrived in Turkey, I actually arrived the same year, 2014. It was September. I came here. I didn't know any Turkish. My Turkish was zero, sıfır, as they say it in Turkish, zero, sıfır. So I came here as a student. So basically during my first year, I just studied Turkish. So I studied Turkish for about 8 months or a year, around that span of time. So after I got my certificate, that's when I started my master's degree. Because if you're a scholar of the government, of the Turkish government, you actually cannot start your study, whether the medium of instruction is in English, you cannot study directly. You have to study Turkish first before you can start your degree. So in my part, my degree was in Turkish, 70% Turkish, 30% English. So when I started my coursework, it was nerve-wracking for me, because the teachers were speaking in Turkish during that time, even though I knew Turkish already. But I only learned basic Turkish, so I didn't really know the in-depth, like the academic Turkish. But the good thing about during that time is that my professors were also good. They were all good. They actually allowed me to write in English. I would ask permission, like, hocam, İngilizce yazabilir miyim? Like, hocam, can I write in English? And they would say yes. They would always say yes. Same with my second semester. It went well. And then my third year here, I started doing my thesis. So during the time also, I became free. I didn't have any coursework. I don't have to come to school. I just have to work on my thesis and go to my danishman, or my thesis advisor, talk with him, update him on what I did, the like things. So actually during that time, I decided to work, because I was free most of the time. So during the time, I worked as an English teacher at an institution. It was actually pretty good at the start. they were paying me regularly, religiously, but after some time, there would be delays, like delay for 2 months, a month. So I actually stayed in that institution, I think, for around 10 months. Actually, my only aim why I stayed in that institution is that I actually wanted to travel to Europe. So I really wanted to save money. So that's why I worked. But the good thing about that working hours or working condition about that institution is that I only have to work during the evening. So during the morning, I was actually writing my thesis. So I still have time to do all my thesis work. And then after 10 months, I quit. That time also I defended my thesis. And so I graduated after 3 years. So I graduated, I finished my master's degree in Turkish. So I wrote also my thesis in Turkish. Not actually in Turkish, I wrote it in English and I have someone translate it in Turkish. And after the time, I was actually contemplating whether to go back home or just to stay in Turkey. So I wasn't really sure on what to do afterwards. I was torn between, staying in Turkey because I really love Turkey. It's such a nice country. The working condition and the environment, people, and the like things were all good. But at the same time, I was also torn by the fact that I would love to use what I learned from here and apply it back home. And then, while contemplating, I also decided to work again as an English teacher, but in a different institution. So I work as an English teacher while contemplating. And during that time, it was, I think, already 2017 or 18, January, February. I applied again for a scholarship. The same scholarship institution, Türkiye bursları. And so while waiting for the result of that scholarship that I applied, so I was still working, and luckily I got accepted again. They gave me a second scholarship. So now I'm still a student, but at the same time I'm still working. I'm still working at the same institution where I used to work during the time where I was contemplating. But this time I'm working less hours. So I'm just working basically during the weekends and a little bit on Monday. But other than that, I'm mostly free during the weekdays. During the weekdays, I just do my school stuff, everything that needs to be done for school. And during the weekends, I work. And so why did I decide to stay in Turkey? For one, I'm still studying, so I would love to continue this opportunity that the Turkish government gave me once again. And secondly, like, working as part-time here for me, this is just based on my experience, has been really good to me. I earn more than enough for what I need in terms of personal needs or even travel and the like. So, and I could also save from working as part-time. And perhaps another motivation why I decided to stay here in Turkey is that it's very near Europe, and I really want to discover more of Europe, and it's easier to apply visa. Based on my experience, it's easier to apply visa from Turkey as compared to the Philippines or back home. And basically